Finance just sent you 10 Excel files for the last 10 years. Each one, 12 different tabs, blank column headers. The real data doesn't start until row 5, and there are random merge cells with hand-drawn borders made from blank rows. And surprise, they need the data in their dashboard by Friday. This isn't just a bad day. This is every data engineer's chaotic life. And trust me, I've handled worse. In this video, I'm going to show you why Excel files break pipelines. We're going to talk about what it actually takes to future-proof your workflows against spreadsheet chaos and stop the Excel madness. We did a community poll and over 60% of you voted as Excel as your most painful data source, and for good reason. Why? Well, there's no enforced structure, merge cells and random formatting running awry, data starting on random rows, and every month there is something that changes. It is chaos for automation and pure tech debt for your pipeline and your team. Picture this. I got 10 Excel files from our finance group. Each of those 10 Excel files had a tab for each of the months of the year, so 12 different tabs. And I thought, great, this won't be too bad to automate, right? Famous last words. Each tab generally had the same columns, but every so often there'd be this random comment field in one of the tabs, and it wasn't consistent across the 10 different files. In addition, I found some hard line breaks in some of the header fields. This also can cause issues when you're reading those files. And finally, my favorite, the December tabs all had a bonus row for an annual summary. My pipeline, it basically scanned through and went, you're cool, F you, I'm out of here. The quick and dirty fix here, I manually standardized all the tabs across every file. 3 days, a pile of empty Frito bags, and at least 5 angry drank monster drinks, and I finally got through it. Hang with me, and I'll show you the long-term fix, and you can even download this Python script to handle these messes yourself. Another common issue that I see with ingesting Excel files is inconsistent date formatting within the file itself. I had a stakeholder swear that they updated all of the dates in the file to be the same format. But when I loaded it, I found that entire columns were blank in the ingestion. Turns out the dates were entered with 2-digit years in some cases and 4-digit years in other cases. When Informatica ran the workflow, it ran without error, and often does. We only caught it when Jill, the CMO, asked why the Q2 numbers were all zeros in the dashboard. I imported the data into staging, ran a quick update script to get the dates into the right format for Jill, but a permanent check needed to be put in place. I'm going to show you how to catch this before it hits your boss's screen in about 60 seconds. The real cost of Excel chaos isn't just manual cleanup. It's missed deadlines, broken dashboards, and emergency fire drills every reporting cycle. And business leaders don't see any of that. They just wonder why the automation takes so long. If you want a real solution to these headaches, I've got a sample Python script that you can use today. I'm going to walk through that code in about 20 seconds. But if you want to try it out for yourself, download it from my website, and the link is below in the description. The truth is, some teams are never going to give up on Excel. But if you can build pipelines that handle that chaos, it starts with some smart code. Let me show you exactly how I tackle these types of situations with some Python scripts. Okay, let's say you get an Excel file with 12 monthly tabs. You're going to need to combine all the tabs into one normalized table, standardize the headers, fix the date fields that use the 2-digit years that we're talking about, and probably add a couple of fields, one for the name of the tab that it's pulling the data from, and then another one for the file name, just to keep things straight. So here's how I do it using Python and Pandas. Just as a reminder, I'm going to post the full script on the website, and the link is going to be down in the description. So first, you're going to read each tab looking for the actual header row, right? Because sometimes it's not going to be the first row. You are going to clean up the blank rows and standardize the column names. You're going to add a source month column for traceability and another one for file name. You're going to combine everything into one data frame. And then for the date columns, you're going to check for the 2-digit years and convert them to 4 digits. Finally, you're going to export the cleaned combined data to a CSV for easy downstream use. So, we've got a lot going on in this file. Let's walk through it really quick. I'm not going to get too deep into the pandas and the data frame functions. If you need more information on that, be sure you go out and check out our Python tutorial playlist. So, at the beginning, one of the things that you're going to need to change as you adapt this to your own system, you're going to need to obviously change this Excel path to wherever your file lives. And we have some looping functions in here, but there are definitely some advanced looping functions that you could adapt this to. Again, learn more about looping in that Python tutorial. We have a function here to check for an error row, for a header row. So this is going to go through and it's going to look for specific things like date and transaction ID in the header row, in the row that it's evaluating. Next, we are going to say for each sheet in the sheet names, right? And we get the sheet names again from this variable up here that is reading the Excel file and getting all the sheet names. So for each sheet in the sheet names, it's going to go through, read that tab, right? The Excel path, it's going to give it the sheet name, and it's going to say header none, right? Because we're going to start with header none until we evaluate and figure out where that header actually is. Possible header rows. We know that most certainly the header row is probably going to be on the first 5. And then we're going to check and use this is header row function, right? And so if it finds that the header row is on one of these other rows, then it's going to apply that for the header. If the possible header row is in any of those, then it's going to set that header row ID, right? Index. Otherwise, it's going to set that index as 0. So if it doesn't find a header row, then it's going to leave that index for the header row at 0, and it's just going to use the first row as the index for the header. Otherwise, it's going to use what it found. So next, it's going to look through the columns and, again, figure out, based on where the header row is, it's going to do header row +1 to start pulling the data, and it's going to reset this index. Again, this is just a type of looping, right? All of this, where we're saying for column in df columns, within these square brackets, this is a special type of looping, again, that you could learn more about in the pandas tutorials. Next, we're going to look at, the source month equals the sheet, and it's going to append, again, we're appending all this to this all months list that we create up here. So for the full data frame, we're concatenating everything that goes into that list. We're going to then, after we've concatenated everything, so after we've read everything in and done all that cleaning, we're going to then fix the year. So we're going to go through, we have this new other function where we're fixing the year, right? So if the year is less than 30, then we're going to return and replace the year as whatever the year is plus 2000. Else it's going to return it plus 1900. If the year is 89, right? Well, we know that we haven't gotten to 2089 yet. We want it to be 1989. So that's why we have this particular function here. So if the date is in the column name, then it's going to apply that fix year. So it's going to look for a column name called date, and then it's going to go through and fix all the years for us. And then finally, we're going to export it to a CSV. If you think that's as bad as it gets, I have one more story for you. One team grouped their data by merging entire rows and then hand typing labels as faux section headers. There was no way to import that cleanly. The data didn't even align with the columns anymore. The quick and dirty fix here, I untangled the logic, created new columns for the headers, and hoped for the best. The long-term solution came after we got them their trending. I went ahead and built them a template so that chaos didn't happen anymore. But don't stop here. If you want to be a master data engineer, check out this video right now.